note that the current state of affairs feels like the culmination of several months. Behind the scenes, unresolved tension is subtly growing. The change in energy was apparent long before any headlines appeared, according to viewers who keep a close eye on their relationship. Talking became more intense. Moments that had previously felt lighthearted started to contain a hint of annoyance, and smiles were forced. Yandy seemed emotionally spent during this time, according to commentators. Online reports indicate that she felt as though she was always pressing for being understanding, but receiving virtually little in return. Supporters claim that this wasn't the result of a single disagreement or a poor day. Rather, it was the recurrence of the same problems without a true solution. Every effort allegedly concluded with the same sense of being ignored in an attempt to clarify the air. According to those debating the matter, Mendeecees responded to the mounting strain in a different way, instead than leaning into challenging talks. He was frequently said to be shutting down. Fans evaluating recent interactions think he made an effort to downplay disagreements by characterizing them as minor problems. However, Yandy claimed that those same problems were signs of something much more serious. This disparity in viewpoint may have led to a growing emotional divide, according to some, as additional commentary videos and posts started portraying the situation as serious. Social media reactions grew more intense. Fans are startled because this marriage was thought to have withstood tremendous pressure for many years. Many supporters thought they could live if they could overcome previous obstacles. Anything. The reason these reports have been so damaging is precisely because of that belief. The notion that divorced many people who formerly thought their relationship was impenetrable find it unbelievable that it is even being discussed. Online users started looking back at current events with fresh perspectives. Suddenly, scenes that had felt tense but doable were being recounted. Warning signs for ass. Fans noted conversational pauses, tone shifts, and instances where feelings appeared to overflow before being abruptly cut off. As viewers contemplated whether they were seeing typical marital tension or the gradual disintegration of something much more serious, their emotions ran high. As stated as the reports gained popularity, there was never a single point of contention. Some speculate that it has to do with an emotional imbalance. According to these conversations, Yandy felt as though she was battling for the relationship on all fronts with friends, family, and herself. In the meanwhile, the online story formation raises the possibility that Mendeecees wasn't putting out the same amount of emotional effort. This discrepancy became central to the narrative for a lot of supporters. People started talking about how close friends and relatives might be responding behind the scenes as the rumors persisted, although nothing has been verified according to accounts. Secret discussions took place long before the general public became aware of it. Some followers think Yandy's close friends and family promoted communication and patience. Some suggest that if nothing was changing, she might have been counseled to keep her peace. The already heated debate was only intensified by these unsubstantiated assertions. What really changed the situation was the mention of divorce in these papers. Fans claim the word has significance, particularly in light of the relevant history. Commentary claims that it was said after emotional weariness rather than in a fit of rage. Set in. When someone reaches that stage, they typically feel like they have no other options, according to others talking about the scenario. Many fans have developed strong feelings of sympathy for Yandy just based on that notion. Simultaneously, those who think these allegations are overstated are strongly opposed. Some contend that relationships on reality TV are frequently misinterpreted and unfairly assessed. They claim that reality can be distorted by editing, public pressure, and internet narratives. For them, the talk of divorce is simply another exaggerated gossip. The fan base is now divided as a result of this separation. The presence of youngsters heightens the emotional impact of the fierce conversations that take place on a regular basis. The stakes are much higher than amusement, as fans frequently point out. They discuss the stability of families, emotional health, and the long-term effects of ongoing stress. Many say they wish that peace and clarity come first, no matter what is true. This issue gives what some previously wrote off as merely reality TV drama a significant new dimension. As the reports continue to circulate, The couple's silence has further heightened conjecture. People claim that every theory can become more prominent because there aren't any clear claims. Fans examine time, body language, and even absence as possible cues. People's emotions were running high as they attempted to read between the lines, looking for certainty that might never materialize. In these conversations, one thing is evident despite the cacophony. According to the web narrative, this is not a scandal, but rather a case of emotional exhaustion. It concerns what transpires when dialogue ceases to be leading. Two answers then begin to repeat themselves. Fans now have to face the fact that even the most seemingly solid relationships might fall down, regardless of whether these allegations are true or just rumors. The story continues to develop through criticism, conjecture, and emotional responses from all angles when unresolved tension is allowed to fester. Supporters are still split. There are still unsolved questions. And the notion that months of stress could result in such a significant turning point has evolved. How people see this marriage in its entirety. The narrative surrounding Yandy and Mendeecees started to change from astonishment to analysis as the internet conversation grew. Fans were no longer merely responding. On an emotional level, they began assembling timeframes, patterns, and behaviors that, in their opinion, corroborated the reports that were currently making the rounds. This kind of tension rarely arises out of nowhere, as many have noted. Rather, it gradually accumulates layer by layer until even seemingly insignificant times are burdensome. Commentators frequently point out that the emotional tone of the issue was what made it feel different. The reports that were being circulated stated that Yandy was no longer fighting for victory or correctness. It was said that she was speaking out of exhaustion. Online conversations about the situation claim that there is a significant distinction between tiredness and fury, and what they think they are currently witnessing resembles the latter quite a bit. They claim that exhaustion is the result of feeling as though one has exhausted all avenues for being heard. Fans started going back to discussions in which Yandy seemed to be requesting a simple understanding rather than a significant shift. During these times, according to viewers, she appeared more concerned with transparency than confrontation. Frustration accompanied the lack of clarification. The reports state that the cycle was happening so frequently that it started to emotionally exhaust her. Many of her fans have developed a strong sense of empathy for her viewpoint as a result of this. Interpretation. Conversely, Mendeecees' alleged responses became a hot topic of discussion. According to online criticism, some fans contend that his strategy mirrors someone who is constantly in dispute. Some think it opted for emotional avoidance. People's debates over impact versus intent became heated. Even his supporters acknowledged that shutting down during important discussions can exacerbate issues, particularly when one spouse is actively trying to find a resolution. Fans' responses grew increasingly divided as rumors grew more intense. Some expressed disappointment, believing that the split was caused by both parties. Others blamed Mendeecees for the most of the emotional burden, claiming that confidence and constancy are just as important as loyalty. People projected their personal experiences onto the scenario, causing emotions to run high across platforms, transforming the conversation into a really intimate one. These reports also focused on the participation of friends and extended relatives. Commentary indicates that some close to the marriage may have sensed the tension long before the public did. Even though nothing has been confirmed, supporters surmise that they may have received private counsel, first advising patience and then urging candid choices. Many viewers find great resonance in the notion that Yandy would have felt encouraged to make her own decisions. The topic of divorce was brought up repeatedly in various sources, which really intensified the discussion. Fans found it more difficult to completely reject the allegation because so many stories supported it. Even though it is still unproven, people stress that getting a divorce is not a word that most couples use informally, particularly after years of dating. The internet narrative claims that it only came to light when hope for significant change started to wane. Fans started to wonder what it meant to stay together as this prospect became more real. Emotional well-being replaced appearances in conversations. Many contended that remaining in an unhappy marriage can be more harmful than ending it. Others retorted that periods of uncertainty occur in every long-term partnership. This conflict between viewpoints kept the discussion lively and ever-changing. The public's perspective was another aspect of the narrative. Fans observed how challenging it must be to deal with personal issues while being watched all the time. Commentary suggests that current problems might have been exacerbated by public pressure. Every argument turns into a conversation starter. Every pause raises suspicions. Whether the relationship ever had room to heal was a topic of discussion. Without the outside, children continued to be at the focus of many conversations, despite noise having an impact on decisions. The significance of mental safety and stability was frequently brought up by viewers. Reactions from fans indicate that this element by itself might have a significant impact on any decision under consideration. Some people think this is the reason Yandy allegedly persisted for so long. Others speculate that it might possibly be the reason why the strain eventually grew intolerable. In any case, having kids around raises the stakes well beyond amusement. The couple's silence continued to dominate the conversation as the days went by. No affirmations, no refutations, just silent. That quiet felt loud to a lot of supporters. It was seen as strategic by some. For others, it was an indication that things were genuinely difficult behind the scenes. Supporters' emotions were running high as they looked for comfort in old pictures, interviews, and even covert internet activity. A recurrent thread surfaced in the discourse among all the conjecture. Many people believe that this is not a case of scandal or treachery. It has to do with emotional detachment. It's about what occurs when two people start using separate, emotional languages and neither of them feels completely understood. Supporters claim that even in the absence of proof, realization alone lends credibility to these stories. The story had changed by now. Once more, the emphasis shifted from whether or not divorce was discussed to why the relationship might have gotten to this stage in the first place. People started realizing that when unsolved problems persist for too long, even strong ties can deteriorate, whether true or overstated. These reports have made fans face difficult realities regarding committed relationships and emotional work. One thing doesn't change as the conversation does. Fans' perceptions of the marriage have changed as a result of the rumors that Yandy requested a divorce. Emotions are still split. Questions keep coming up, and the narrative doesn't go away. Rather, it becomes more intricate, paving the way for more in-depth discussions regarding potential future developments and whether this relationship can ever revert to its previous state. Fans started concentrating more on the emotional arc being described in these reports and less on specific occasions as the discussion shifted into conjecture. Many individuals on the internet began to claim that the reported incident between Yandy and Mendeecees felt more like the outcome of two people gradually drifting apart than of a single, dramatic event. Commentary claims that the gap did not appear out of nowhere. It stealthily infiltrated through unresolved disputes, unfulfilled expectations, and recurrent loops that never really came to an end. Supporters debating the matter asserted that Yandy's alleged perspective changed over time. Fans claimed that at the beginning she seemed optimistic and continued to think that open dialogue could mend what felt damaged. However, as the months went by, the tone described in these papers purportedly altered. She allegedly questioned whether it was still possible to correct things rather than how to do so. Fans feel that this change is frequently the most difficult phase of a relationship, since it indicates the start of emotional estrangement. Numerous viewers Yandy was no longer responding emotionally in the heat of the moment, according to an analysis of recent contacts. Rather, she seemed composed yet forceful, which some see as an indication that someone has already dealt with their sadness on the inside. Online users frequently claim that when feelings become quiet instead of loud, a decision has already begun to take shape. The stories indicating divorce was suggested have gained more weight due to interpretation. There was ongoing discussion about Manx's place in this developing story. His reported comments were viewed as inconsistent, according to fan feedback. At